Okay. I've been here before. Y'all remember when I was here last time? Yeah, the Hawaiian shirt guy? Yeah. Well, I only got 30 minutes, and I could go all day. I could go 8 hours. Now, for those of you who don't know, at the Alito Administration Building, I'm going to be doing I think it's 2 hours, at 2 o'clock, where I go into great detail, everything I'm going to give you an overview of now. So I think there's only 10 spots left. So if you like what you're hearing in the next 30 minutes, and you want to go deeper and get some actionable, then check with our table over here, and they can definitely get you in. But like I said, they only have 10 spots left if you're interested. My name is Eric Spellman. Just to let you know, I'm from Amarillo, Texas, so I'm a Texan. And what I do for a living is primarily travel around the country speaking. Speaking at different conferences, speaking to different groups, and a little bit of consulting as well. My area of expertise is online marketing. But kind of what I'm known for is SEO, search engine optimization. Everything I cover, in case you don't get it today, I've probably done a YouTube video. I've done quite a few hundred YouTube videos, and I'm very excited to mention that we just broke 1 million views. So I'm very excited about that. If you like what you hear, then feel free to watch the video. And in fact, you know, speaking of search engine optimization being found, if you were to pull out your phones right now and go to Google and type how to rank well on Google, or even just type rank well, I am #1 and have been for like 6 or 7 years now. And what I'm going to do is start to tell you a little bit about how that happened. Okay? Now, I'm not going to have all the time in the world today, right now. But like I said, I go into great detail at 2 o'clock. A little teaser there once again. But let's talk about Google for a second. I told you this is going to be low tech. This is not supposed to be over your head, high tech, talking computer geek stuff. What is Google? Okay, that wasn't a dramatic pause. What? It's a search engine. What's a search engine?
Search the World Wide Web.
It's a way to find content on the internet quickly. I mean, think about how things have changed. Think about how far we have come. I mean, back in the old days, if you wanted the answer to something, you either had to find a smart friend or go to the library. Or go to that big set of books called encyclopedias that your parents bought from the door-to-door salesman. Do you realize how far we've come? And today, you can be anywhere, pull out your phone, not even have to type it, just ask, you know, when was Lady Gaga born? And it knows. You see where I'm going with this? People have learned that they can get and should get the answer to every question that they have. And what you need to know about search engines as it relates to your business is that no one's looking for your business. Did you hear me? I know that's going to sound a little bit like a spank. No one's looking for your business online. You know what they're looking for? They're looking for the answer to a question or the solution to a problem. Did you hear me? When people go to Google, they are looking for the solution to a problem. They are looking for the answer to a question. So here's my question to you. What solution does your business provide to what problem? What problem does your business solve? If you assume that people are just going there and typing your type of business and you're thinking, oh, that's all I need to come up on? No. My question is, if people don't know what your business is, if they know they have a problem, do you come up when they type that problem in? That's the real question. And we're also not talking about, oh, do you come up when someone types in your business name? Oh my gosh, you'd better. That is a very low bar. You should never hire a company to make you show up for your own name. The real test is if you come up for the problem that you solve, or the question that you answer. Google has gotten very smart. It's no longer about keywords, and that's going to be one of the things I really push at 2 o'clock. Don't let anyone tell you it's about keywords anymore. We're way beyond keywords. It's all about concepts. Google systems are smart enough to understand concepts. Google knows that attorneys and lawyers are basically the same thing. So someone trying to show up for one of them will probably show up for both now. Does that make sense? It understands concepts. And too many times, there are bad tech people out there, none in this room, trust me. There are bad tech people out there who will tell you, oh, all you need to do is to write some blogs and to put some of these keywords in it, and you'll start showing up. Not anymore. Let me just tell you this. If you start writing for someone with the intent that you want them to show up better in Google for a certain search, you will fail. Every time. And that's because Google is onto you. Google looks at the percentage of keywords that is natural in something. And if you go beyond that, then it starts to wonder if you're trying to stuff the ballot box. Does this make sense? And if it thinks you are stuffing the ballot box, which in many cases can be using certain keywords more than 1 or 2% of the time, then you will be throttled. I mean, you will be rankingly spanked, so to speak. Okay? But let's back up even a little further. Let's talk about when we search Google. Because if you were to type in rank well, or type in how to rank well on Google, or whatever, and you see me coming up, some of y'all would go, oh, Eric, you are not number one. And I would say, look closely. What are you seeing? And they're ads. That's exactly right. Typically, when you do a search in Google, you get ads first. Sometimes you'll even get a secondary piece, kind of local results, where it shows the map and who's nearby that does that thing. But then after that is what we call the organic results. The organic results, the natural results, what Google considers the most relevant for your search. And the real question, which is what I'm going to be covering in detail at 2 o'clock, is how does a company get there? Because trust me, if you can get to be number one organically for an amazing search, I mean, it's just like a money machine. Too many people feel they have to throw dollars at this to show up well at Google. And in fact, every single one of you, if you have a website, have been called at least once a month by someone promising you number one, if you'll just throw a little bit of money at them every month. Well, let me just clear that little scam up right now. It is a scam. Don't you dare let anyone guarantee you number one. No one, not even me, no one can guarantee you number one on Google. And do you know why? Because the actual algorithm that Google uses to rank one website over another is top secret. And if anyone knew what that was, Google would change it. And in fact, Google does change it on a regular basis. There's only a few people at Google who know it. And when people like me start to figure it out, they change it. Okay? But that's my first point. You will get called by people who say, we guarantee you'll be number one by tomorrow. And you want to know the cool thing is if you throw money at them, you will be number one tomorrow. But you got to look close. What those people do is they will typically charge you like $100 a month. They will take 50 of those dollars and create an AdWords campaign. You know, the ads. Then they will pocket the other $50. And so basically, yeah, tomorrow you'll do a search and boom, there you are as an ad. And do you know how those ads work? If I click on your ad, yeah, it's pay per click, exactly. If I click on your ad, it just costs you a nickel. It costs you $1. It costs you 50 cents. It costs you money. Yes, I went to your website, but it costs you. Now, the thing about organic, you got to realize that 60% of the clicks on that Google page are going to whoever's organic. Whoever number one is organic, 60% of the clicks are going to him. Because most people say, okay, I don't want to go to the ads. Who does Google think is the most relevant? And they trust Google more than they trust the ads. So I get lots of people clicking on my stuff all the time, and it costs me how much? Zero. Yes, you can have an ad, and I'm not dissing ads, by the way. Do not hear that. I do whole videos on how to do ads effectively. I think paid advertising in search engine is a good strategy if done correctly. Especially if you don't have enough content to start ranking organically. You're going to have to do something. But your ultimate goal Your ultimate goal is to show up organically, because once again, it costs you nothing. So once again, if anyone calls you up and promises you that you'll be number one, the second they promise that, the second they guarantee it, you need to hang up, because it is a scam. Does that make sense? Questions on that? Okay. So the real question is, how does Google decide who's number one and who's number two and so forth? Well, we were breaking down the list of Google results. When you do a search in Google, and by the way, some people ask me, Eric, you just talk about Google all the time. What about Bing and Yahoo? Shut up. Hey, no one care about them. Google has about 99% of the market, okay? Bing and Yahoo fight for the crumbs that are left over. No one goes to Bing unless they're like over the age of 50 or something. I'm serious. I'm serious. I ain't trying to be mean. I'm just saying no one goes to Bing. And that's why businesses say, well, I want to show up well for Bing. I want to show up well for Yahoo. No. The only person you need to worry about is Google, period. That's all that matters in this world. And you want to know the cool part? If you start showing up for Google, you will show up well in Bing too, because Bing copies Google. So understand that Google is all that matters. The thing you need to realize is, what does Google look at? Well, back in the old days when search engines were brand new, and trust me, I was there when the internet came around. I worked at Amarillo College, a community college, as a programmer, and I was hired to connect them to the internet. That was before the public even had access. We were getting our connection through West Texas University, West Texas State University, now WTA&M. We were getting our connection, and they were getting their connection from the University of Texas. So back then, only schools were getting it, and we were at the end of a long arm of it. So I was connecting up Amarillo College. And I quickly realized there's going to be a lot of information here. How are people going to find it? And so back then, even before the World Wide Web, we had things called Gopher. Anyone remember that, Gopher? Some of y'all are going, yeah, I remember that. Oh, gosh, back in the old days, before the web. And the point was, it did grow. And when the public suddenly got access to it and companies started coming online, it became near impossible to find things. And so what someone did was they created a search engine. Do y'all remember the first most successful search engine that was out there? The first. It wasn't Google. Alta Vista. Okay? Alta Vista was around. And then we had Excite. And then we had Ask Jeeves. And we had, I mean, there's some others that came along. But Google was the one that beat them all. Now, why did Google beat them all? Because Google had more relevant results. People discovered that if they did their search in Google, for whatever reason, Google brought up better results. Why? I'm about to tell you. See, back in the day, there were two students at Stanford. I believe it was Stanford University. And they went up to a professor and they said, hey, Prof, can we use the mainframe computer tonight on the internet? Can we just borrow it? Now, that a mainframe back then, you don't take somewhere. So borrow meant just sit and use. And so they programmed it to start. Now, listen closely. They programmed it to start at one web page. Some web page somewhere. And what this computer would do was it would grab every word on that page and store it in a little catalog, and then follow every link on that page. Okay? So it would start at a page, grab every word, store it, and then follow every link to another web page or even another website, grabbing every word on every page, following every link, basically crawling around the web, jumping from website to website. The little program they created to do this, we called a spider. Get it? Spider crawling the web. And so what these spiders did was they would crawl the web, grabbing every word on every web page and storing it. Well, they let this little program run all night long. When they came back in the morning, they discovered that their little program had amazingly, this was a long time ago, indexed about 99% of the entire internet to the word. They quickly realized they could make money doing this, so they quit college and went off and started Google. And what they did was they grew. And they said, okay, we're going to make it easy for people to find things on the internet. But then they ran into problems. Because think about it. Eventually, some people started selling the same things. There were competing businesses. How do we decide that this business is above this business? Because remember, on every Google search page, there are only 10 organic results. 10. And obviously, 60% of the clicks are going to go to number 1. And the rest will be divided between the organic and the paid ads. By the way, little aside here. What happens if you're position number 11? Where are you? Huh? You're nowhere. Page 2 does not exist because no one goes there. I had a friend tell me the best place to hide a dead body is on page 2 of Google because no one ever goes there. You're saying, I do? No, you don't. You actually change your search. If you can't find what you're looking for in that first page, you change your search. Well, tell me you go to page 2. Cool people don't do page 2. So your goal is page 1, by the way. If you ain't page 1, you're not even on there. So anyway, they've had to figure out how to put this company above this company. How do we decide that this website is more relevant for the search than this website? And the way they did it in the beginning was keywords. They said, oh, well, someone wants lawnmower in Amarillo, Texas. Well, this website mentions lawnmower 5 times, in Amarillo, Texas 7 times, and this website mentions it once. It automatically ranked them based on the number of keywords. Now, back in the day, that was fine. And do y'all remember when people had websites, and if you went to the very bottom of their homepage, there were all these keywords, sometimes typed in the same color as the background? All those keywords, and you remember what they were trying to do? They were trying to game Google. They were trying to make Google think, oh, they're relevant for all those keywords, and there were just a big listing of them. Don't ever do that. Don't ever allow some web designer to do that. Okay? Google is onto that. If they see you just listing keywords for no reason that aren't in any kind of context, they know you're trying to cheat. And you will get spanked. Okay? So the search engines had to figure out, okay, we can't count the number of keywords because the webmasters were abusing it. So what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? That's when they came up with a brand new concept. A brand new concept that still exists today, and the reason I'm number 1 for the search is I'm number 1 for. Here's the deal. I'll give you the answer right now. And by the way, if you can't come at 2 o'clock and you still want to know how to do it, like I said, if you type in how to rank well on Google, you can watch my video and I show you exactly how to do it for free. I'm not going to charge you anything. It's a YouTube video. Okay, so anyway, basically, the key is this. If you want to show up well in Google, stop writing for Google. Let me say that again. You want to show up well in Google, you stop writing for it. You write for people. You write for customers. You write because Google, believe it or not, can test that. Google knows when writing is natural or unnatural. Too many people will sit there, and sometimes you can even hire people to write for you, to write for your company. But if they don't know your company, and they're not writing to your customer, they will fail. Once again, it has nothing to do with keywords. It has everything to do with content. And I'll just give you a little teaser right now. It has nothing to do with pictures either. You want to know what Google looks at on your website? Text. Really, that's it. It's the only thing Google understands. So if you have a website with a whole ton of pictures on it, beautiful, artsy website, but just a little bit of text, Google will hate you. You can have the most beautiful website in the world. A professional website does not attract Google. You know what attracts Google? Do you know what spider bait is? Text. That's what Google wants. And that's what I'm going to be covering at 2 o'clock, is what that text should contain. Because it can't just be any text. It has to be certain kinds. And like my friends over at WABW mentioned, Your website is a lifetime investment. It is not a billboard. It is not a, oh, built that, we're done, come back to it in a year. How many of y'all, no, don't raise your hands. You'll just embarrass yourself. How many of you have a website that was built a year ago and hasn't been touched since? In other words, it's a virtual pamphlet. It's an online billboard. Google hates you. And you will not rank well. Because Google looks at the frequency of which you post. It looks at the age of the information on your website. And if you have a new competitor come into town who builds a website, guess what? They will probably do better than you simply because they're newer. And Google always wants to show the most up-to-date, the most relevant. If you are not adding content to your website on a regular basis, and when I say content, I mean text. If you are not adding that on a regular basis, you will not compete. It's that simple. SEO is not complicated. It's no longer about meta tags. Don't let anyone tell you it has anything to do with meta tags anymore. That is so 4 years ago, which in the internet world is ancient. It's no longer a technology thing anymore. It's no longer a, oh, I got to know how to put in the right code here and the right code there, and somehow magically Google will see me as wonderful. You want to rank well on Google? You don't have to have a technology degree. You just need to be able to generate good content, because that's all Google wants. It's the only thing those spiders want to eat. That's it. Questions? I come across as scary, don't I? Yes.
What about, I know there's a lot, not myself, but there are business owners in here who work for...
You have a friend.
I have a friend. I have a lot of friends who work for larger corporations who their larger corporations restrict the website or what the landing page is, what's on the landing page, what it is, where it goes. Is there ways around local businesses to help themselves around their bigger, their larger boss creating websites?
His question is basically, what about smaller businesses that work for larger national companies, and there are restrictions as to what they can put on their website. And in fact, many times they have to put certain text that's on the same. And here's the deal. I'll just be honest with you right now. If your website has the same text as someone else, it's got to be unique.
Right.
So here's the deal. The secret to this is being able to blog. The secret is to, and I'm going to be giving you a couple of others, because I've told y'all before, I've done hundreds of YouTube videos, and yet I'm showing up number one. Google can't watch a YouTube video. I get no benefit by doing YouTube from being found. But what I do with the video afterward is what benefits me, and I'll be talking about that at 2. So what I'm saying is this. You've got to tell your friend that they have to create content that the other places, the other franchises, the other locations do not have. Okay, and they've got to, there's a couple of other things. They've got to make sure that their Google Places is up to date. Usually someone at National handles that, but if they don't, they've got to take over. Because if someone doesn't know, okay, Hudson Oaks, Weatherford, where is that business located? If they don't, if Google doesn't know where it's located, they won't even show up in the local results. Okay, good question. Other questions? Yes?
When you say add text, if you have multiple pages on your web page, you have to add text to each and every page?
No, you don't have to add. His question is, if you have multiple pages, do you have to add text to every page? No. Here's the deal. My home page has hardly any text on it. But that's fine. Don't expect everyone to come to your home page. Very few people come to my home page, the first page on my website. It's usually what needs to come up when someone types in my web address. Most people, to get to my house, go through a window, and I'm fine with that. And what they do is they land on the page that has the answer. You see all those hundreds of YouTube videos that I did? Each one has its own page. So when they do a search and my video talks about the solution, bam, the first thing they click on is me. They watch the video, problem solved. They need to go to the page that answers the question. Don't expect them to have to go to your home page. No. They need to go to the page that answers their question. And if you want to generate online leads, which I've done a number of free videos on that too. If you want to generate online video leads or online leads, then you better create what's called a squeeze page. And there are ways to do that. If you're not getting the majority of your leads online, then you have a problem. You either are not being found or you don't know how to build a squeeze page. I'm telling you, the majority of the people coming into your business have checked you out online first, period. Internet is about all there is anymore. I am not putting down the old types of media. I am not putting down TV and radio and all that. They are still valid. But what I am telling you is that your lowest cost of new customer acquisition is internet. Your lowest cost of new customer acquisition is the internet. And if you focus your budget in that realm, you will see a bigger bang than putting it anywhere else. If you do it right. And that means finding a company that knows the rules and doesn't try to get around them. You follow me? If they're going to promise you some SEO, search engine optimization, ranking well, which is what SEO means. If they're going to promise you SEO, you make sure they're using what we call white hat techniques. In other words, following Google's rules. Because Google is onto you if you try to break them. It ain't a matter of cheating them anymore. Other questions? Yes?
So talk about the impact or non-impact of cross-link and backlink.
Cross-linking, not really a benefit anymore. Creating links that point back to your website, not as big a deal as it used to be. Google is now focusing everything on looking at your text. That is the only thing people really can't cheat. Because cross-linking can be cheated. And there's a lot of what we call link farms out there that do just that. And when Google finds them, pop. Fake websites linking to you, making you look more popular than you are. Those are called link farms. No. Now, here's the deal, though. I will tell you this. If Fox News or CNN suddenly links to you, yes, Google's going to see you way more important because of their quality. You see what I'm saying? So if a large national site links to you, you will get a bump. But what I'm saying is, it's not having 1 million people link to you, because Google could care less.
It's having the right.
It's either having the right people link to you, which, by the way, I have 3 minutes, 20 seconds, and you better listen to what I'm about to say next. There's probably a few of you in here that snuck in here, aren't even members of the chamber. You dressed in your business stuff. You went through the line. You're thinking, why join a chamber? What's the point? Let me tell you. Let me tell you something that you won't hear anywhere else. Do you know why Google loves Chamber of Commerce websites more than just about any other website on the planet? Because it does. Because they're seen as objective. They're seen as pointing to businesses that will probably be around tomorrow, aren't fly-by-night. Because, to be honest, there's a tiny bit of vetting that goes into allowing people into a chamber, right? Tell me there's vetting. My point is this. When Google goes to a Chamber of Commerce website, and if your member directory is public, when Google sees that link to that business is getting some serious positive SEO. I'm here to tell you, even if you didn't like the networking, the best reason to join a Chamber of Commerce is simply so that Google sees that you're a legitimate business. And that's one of the biggest ways it knows, is when you're a member of a chamber. It's worth the membership just for that. That's right. That's right. Don't get me going. We'll have an altar call. Other questions? I have 1:40 left. Yeah, in the back.
What about testimonials on there when you talk about that?
What about testimonials? Here's the deal. Testimonials are good. Everyone, because here's the deal. When people land on your website for the first time, they don't trust you. They don't know you. And so, but when other people start talking positive about you, they like that. But here's the deal. There's a whole way to get testimonials, and there's a whole way not to. I have a whole video. Please watch it. It's free. I'm not trying to sell you anything, I promise. They're all free to watch. Because people get testimonials the wrong way. A good testimonial can't be, oh, they're so friendly and have good customer service. That is a terrible testimonial. Do you know why? Because no one puts a value on customer service anymore. It has no value whatsoever because everyone claims to have it. Don't ever use customer service as a positive. Don't ever describe yourself as having good customer service. Don't ever use a testimonial where they say that, because it doesn't matter. No one goes, oh, wow, they have customer service. Let's go there. No one does that. So it better say something to the effect of, I've been to a lot of places in this town, and I've never been treated better. I've never got served faster, and the quality of what I received has never been higher. I would always go here. That's a testimonial. And here's the deal. No one is ever going to write that. And there's a way to get it. Watch my video. And yes, it is honest. Folks, thanks a lot. I hope to see you at 2 o'clock. If not, watch my videos.